Okay, so we can start. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this second episode of the IFSA Officials Roundtable session from the experience. So, last week we had a really insightful session with other people who are also officials sharing their experiences. So, now we are covering different positions, so we will have more information about being an official in IFSA. So, okay, we have a Slido and we're moving on. The expectations for today. And okay, we can start with this. So as you may remember, last year we had the IFSA Officials Roundtable series, where also all the officials during that term were presenting their experience, but it was more like a point of view, like the skills needed for the position, the time required, the tasks you have to do in the position. But this time we wanted to do something different, like having actually from the experience comments here and see the experiences and the difficulties that you had during your term. So people who's interested can have a better view of the position and what it implies to be an official. So in this second episode, we are having the same structure as the last week. We are having two questions. So each one of you will have 2 minutes to answer each one of these. And at the end, if we have more questions, it will be the opportunity for you to answer those. So for today, we have really great officials. So first of all, we have representing the council, Isabel Claire, the internal counselor. From the Partners Commission, we have Matias, the current head of ProSilva subcommission. Representing the head subcommission, we have Isha, head of the International Processes Commission. Then representing Communication Commission, we have Emmanuel, the head of podcast subcommission, and representing the International Process Commission, we have Marcia, the current head of Forest Europe subcommission. So really great people, and it's going to be really amazing to hear from their experience. So now we're starting with the questions, and we start with this one. We know being an official is a really big responsibility. So how did you manage to meet expectations of your position and to achieve a healthy work-life balance? So first we have Belle. The floor is yours.
Okay, so hi everyone. So this question is has been making me think lately, because time management is not really my greatest skill. And honestly, it's a skill that I'm still learning and unlearning continuously. So some of you may know that I have been in an IFSA official for 3 years. During my first year, I was the head of the social media subcommission. And during that time, I was very excited to do as much as I can, as as it is my first time as an official. So I did a lot of projects or social media campaigns, and I wasn't able to give myself time for my own personal life. Like I focused a lot of my time and effort on being an IFSA official, and uh, so I learned that the hard way. So during my second year as an IFSA official, I was the internal counselor. And during that year, I became more aware of other officials' workload capacity as well as mine. So during that time, I was able to lessen my workload and other people's workload as much as possible so that they would still have time for themselves. But when it comes to myself, I was helping the subcommissions in the internal department, the commissions, Comcoms and CDC, the board, and the council. So I was juggling a lot of tasks at the same time. So that's when I thought to myself, I really need to to mold my time management skills. So that's why I thought about these three questions that really helps me manage my time well. So the first question is like up to what tasks and how many tasks can I manage to do in a term. Especially this is a trend or a pattern that I see in the subcommissions that I work with within the internal department. At the beginning of the term, they're very motivated and enthusiastic to do a lot of projects and activities, but in reality, it's really hard to sustain all of them until the end. So that's why I encourage them to think about which tasks they are willing and able to do until the end. And the second question that I ask myself and also the other officials that I work with is, are these tasks necessary and does it help achieve the IFSA goals? Now that you've filtered the projects or the activities that you initially wrote down, you have to think to yourself, are these tasks able to help the association achieve the three goals that we have? And once you find out the answer to that question, the last question that you would have to ask yourself is, how can these tasks be made easier and more efficient for myself and also for other people? Now that you have the layout of what tasks or projects you want to do for the entire term, how can these tasks be more efficient and how can it be done easier so that it's less time consuming for you and for other people that you'll be working with for the entire term? So, yeah, I hope that those three questions can also help you manage your time well, although it's not guaranteed that you'll end up with a perfect result because, as I've mentioned earlier, time management is a skill that you continuously need to improve and to mold as long as you're an IFSA official. So that's all for me.
Thank you, El. Yeah, I think we all have struggled with that time management. And now we're moving to Matthias. The floor is yours.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthias, as Jasmine introduced me, and I hope this will be useful for you. If you're listening, I also have some problem with time management. So you should know ProSilva is a new or a fresh partner of IFSA. So I have some difficulties because that's my first year as an official. So maybe I set higher expectation for myself, which I didn't quite manage to achieve. You should know I like to doing tasks constantly, but sometimes I'm doing too much. So I'm focusing on other things this year, not for my studies, organizing a graduation for the university and everything. So that was too much for me. I can see it now because my exam session wasn't so successful. So the most important things what I learned here that teamwork can help me and gives me the most of the motivation during the term to seeing others how are they working and how are they achieve the goals, and that's motivate me so that I have to work. So yeah, maybe that's for me. It's hard to make a healthy balance between your work and between your life, but it's a great time for learning that as a student, and being an official is a great opportunity for that. I can learn a lot from this year, and later I can use these skills and this information in my life that I learned here. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthias. And yes, definitely, the things you learn as an official are going to be really useful for once we start like a work life. So now we're moving to Isha.
Yeah, so I think like Bill, I am also going to complete 3 years as an official. So I feel like I kind of learned pace by pace. So initially I was super commissioner, then I went for head of the subcommission for UNFCCC and UNCCD, then the head of the International Process Commission. So I feel like I learned how IFSA works on a step by step. That's why it was easier for me to understand at the starting that it's not because we all are volunteering for this space, so no one will ask you what you are doing, but it's kind of our own ability or own urge to work. So for that, I feel like when I started, I was a student. So back then, only I was going to college and doing my volunteering work. Only it was confined to these two spaces. But over the time, when I decided to go for the head of the International Process Commission, I was kind of not having any regular student work. Like I just graduated and I was just doing internship. The workload was very low on my other end. So I was giving the whole time to IFSA. But again, something kind of got molded up because I became the global focal point for the UNCCD, and I started working with GLF for the. So I feel like a lots of things kind of piled up. At a certain point, it was also very overwhelming for me, but thankfully I kind of know how to manage my time and what capacity I have, how much capacity I have for myself, so that during my off period when I was not having any regular work, it was easier for me to manage. But then I started my proper full-time job, and after weekdays, I think initially I used to talk to Vova and Augustine that it was getting very overwhelming for me to even have a 30 minutes meeting on a weekdays. And also when you work for IFSA and have a participant for all over the globe, then time zone is also another thing you have to consider. So managing all of these things were not easy, but what I decided that what time I have to cut it off. So I gave a very flexible time for my team that I am available during this time to this time on weekdays and this time to this time for my weekends. So that on that time frame they can have a call with me. Not that I am proposing a time, I'm just giving my open slot, because I think as a head of the International Process Commission, you have so many teams. You also having some meetings with the board members also. So mostly it is not just working with the partner or the process commission, but also within the internal team, there is a lots of discussion going on. So I feel like it's most important to understand again what Bale told, that what responsibility you have and which is more priority, which I have to prioritize at the first. Another thing I tried within the team, the people who are comfortable in WhatsApp, I used to give them, like WhatsApp call, not just a setup meeting call. I just say that, okay, when you are free, just give me a call. I will just talk to you on a WhatsApp call, if that makes sense and is make the communication easier. So it's not that what expectation I had from the day one. I can't say that I have made all my expectation, but over the time, again, it's a learning process, how to manage all this time and this how to communicate. And another amazing thing I learned, that within IFSA you are not alone. Whenever I had a like breakdown that I can't do it and I feel like I need a gap time, I always ask someone that, okay, I am going on a vacation, one week I will not be available, so just don't ask me anything. If you have something to ask, tell me before that or after that. I think that is also important, to take a break from your work. It gives you a mental peace for a certain extent. I think that is how, I will not say that every week or every month it will be totally balanced, but when you need a break, you have to take a break so that you can, revise back and come back again with a full energy. So that was my way of coping up with this everything and balancing out whatever I wanted to do. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Isha. And yes, it's really important to have some time just for ourselves and not answering messages because we always are receiving one. So thank you. Now we are moving to Emmanuel.
Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Emmanuel. Yeah, just as Bella said, I this will be happen. I will happen to have this will be my second term to be an official, and I think I've gotten experience so far from the last term when I was the regional representative, and yes, as everybody, almost every officials, when we start the term, we do have this enthusiasm to work and set out a lot of goals and achievements that we want to achieve. But by the time you get into and there's a lot of workloads, you just like find out that there's just little time for you to be able to, reach out to those tasks. And you sometimes you might not even have a lot of time to understand to execute the task that you've already written for yourself. So in communications and in the comcoms, there's this thing that we foster, and that's teamwork. Thanks to AO, the head of comcoms, she makes it so very easy that when you are having difficulties in some issues or there's much workload, maybe your personal life, your personal life, and it's conflicting with what you need to do with IFSA, you can just as well reach out to your colleagues and ask for help. Just teamwork. And she has been coming through. The same too with Isabel. Sometimes we have discussions and she will tell me, if is there anything you want me to do, or is there anything that you feel like you need an helping hand, just call Belle. Thanks, Belle. So what again I actually do is this. Aside from delegating tasks or trying to seek for help, there's what I set boundaries. Boundaries in a way, what I mean by setting boundaries is like making a clear boundary between work and personal time. So sometimes due to the fact that our zone is different, time zones are different, there will be sometimes that a message will come in, maybe a task, and probably it is during my own sleeping time. At default, I'll just out to like, okay, this is not working time. If it is not something mandatory, you will address the issue when it's your working time. So that's what I mean by setting boundaries. And it's actually helped a lot. And occasionally you can take breaks, just taking some time off, having fresh air, and not even thinking about IFSA work or thinking about anything. So that's has really helped, and I think this can actually help other people as well to be able to manage your expectations for positions and achieve a balance between your work life and your normal job that you have to do. Most of the times I was thinking during this time, I was thinking I will have enough time to be able to focus on IFSA work. But due to some can I say delay in my program, so I had my final year was a little bit delayed. So it was during this time now that I had to do my thesis, my project, and a lot of things. So it was so overwhelming. It was very, very overwhelming. So those few things that I just did to add just made me to be able to, find a balance with work in school, my academic work, and IFSA jobs. So that's just it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, and thank you for reminding us that we have a really good team here, always helping us to achieve the goals that we have. So now to close this first question, we have Marcia.
Hi, everyone. And may I just say that all of my colleagues and friends here have kind of summed up what I feel and what I would like to share. I can resonate with all of you, both for the problems and the resolutions. Also, for me, some expectations indeed were not met. Sorry, and for sure, one thing that IFSA doesn't lack as a community is motivation and will to work. At the same time, I think what sums up our situation as a whole generation is that we're all trying to be overachievers, to be perfect at everything, to give the same amount of time for everything. And yeah, when the term begins, it's pretty much right after some vacation that we all had, and it feels great. You feel rested, your brain is at full working mode, and you feel like you can achieve anything, and you can actually do. But we forget that the year goes on, and different responsibilities come up, different changes in life, um, academically, work wise. We feel young, but at the same time, as adulthood proceeds, the responsibilities are not are still piling up. Doesn't matter if you feel like 20 and you're 30, like in my case. And also, I would like to say that situations like time management, which is still something that I also struggle, and I'll be 30 years old in 18 days, is something that it can improve only with work and different situations that teach us how to do it. Now, there are two parts, in my opinion, that one has to think. First of all, what is happening with yourself inside of you? And second of all, the surroundings. Now, for the surroundings, I can only give the biggest big up to IFSA because everybody is so supportive and super understanding. I also had the luck personally in Forest Europe on one of my focal points to be a former IFSA member. And although she made sure that I know where were going wrong, she also gave a very supportive hand towards me. And the other thing was me to realize what is happening inside of me, because we're not just talking about the physical tiresome, but it's also the mental tiresome that comes along the way. And together with that, besides of knowing when to take a break, it's also the feelings that are caused. So when you're motivated, everything feels so awesome, so massive, and you feel like you can do anything. And sometimes you can push a little bit through the physical tiresome and get one extra 2 hours of work and less sleep. But that thing is not as easy when you're feeling the opposite feelings, when you're feeling negative things. And it was the case for me, truthfully. I felt a lot of things that made me kind of retreat, made me shut myself in my own shell, which is something quite unlike to my character because I'm a very communicative person. And one of the things that I experienced was the fact that I cut down complete contact both with the partner and the IFSA part because I was feeling too overwhelmed and underwhelmed at the same time. Things like panic attacks kicked in, which made things a little bit more challenging. And that was the moment that I realized that maybe also the help of a specialist could come in hand. And I can guess that for a few people could be a controversial topic, but indeed, some a therapist can be a very, very good asset one could use because a lot of things are happening in our inner circle and social circle, but also in the world. We all just exited from a pandemic that really, really changed a lot of things and perspectives. And right now, you can all pinpoint that most of us have forgotten about it. We're not talking about it anymore. It's not an issue anymore. And yet, the impacts are still there. My first term as an official, since I'm on the second one of mine, was literally during the second wave of COVID. And a lot of ugly things were happening in everybody's lives. And in fact, it was the first year that I saw most IFSA's officials retreating by the half of the term. It was crazy. So it's very important to not only understand how we feel, but to also be aware of what's that causing us, and not to lose touch, to always communicate what is happening to us and ask for the help, the teamwork. Like Matthias can sing a song about that actually, because he's a one-man orchestra here in his LCN university. So yeah, I think we all got the full recipe here, and with the experience, since that's the topic of the roundtable too, we will all learn to do better and acknowledge, embrace, and find solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcia. I can relate with everything you say. Yeah, and you touch a really important point that it's like our mental health, that we really need to pay attention on that. So thank you so much for your input. Thank you so much, everyone, for your answers for this first question. So now we're moving to the second one. And now we want to know, what are the 3 most valuable things that you will take from being an IFSA official? So now we're starting with Belle. So please, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you. And before I start, I would just like to say that this is a wonderful discussion. Like, each and every one of our speakers has given very valuable insights that I will for sure carry with me in my next years as an IFSA official, and even outside of being an IFSA official. Yeah, but anyway, being an IFSA official has given me a lot of lessons that I don't think I can sum up in just a few minutes. But I would give three of the most impactful values or things that I have learned throughout my years as an IFSA official. The first is the opportunities that I gained for my education and my career. I think that we all know how much impactful IFSA is when it comes to our own education and careers, because we're exposed to um, a lot of fellow IFSA members or alumni or organizations or IFSA partners that can potentially help us in the future through our official positions. Um, so, for instance, in these past few years, I didn't even realize that I would have the opportunity to become a speaker in events such as this, or panelist um, in conferences or sessions. And I also did not realize that during this time of my life, I would be able to meet with a lot of potential employers or organizations that I can work with in the future. It's definitely a unique experience that not all uh, young people have nowadays. So I'm very grateful that IFSA has handed uh, that opportunity for me. And then the second thing that I value the most as an IFSA official is that I've met a lot of friends from all around the world that I will definitely keep in touch with even after I leave IFSA, because um, yeah, being an IFSA official, or even as a member alone, you'll get to be exposed to a lot of different cultures that are very different from yours. So it's a very great experience to have at a young age, because you'll not only learn about other people, but you'll also learn about yourself along the way. And then the third thing that I value the most is, yeah, in connection with my second answer, you'll learn about how to work with other people, or you'll learn about other people's attitude when it comes to friendships or work, and you'll also learn a lot about yourself. Um, During these 3 years as an IFSA official, my knowledge in forestry and my skills that are very relevant when it comes to work have deepened and improved. And that's one of the main things that I'm very grateful for IFSA, um, because it's like I said earlier, a unique way to mold your skills. Um, yeah, so maybe the question that I would want myself to answer, and also maybe you can also reflect on this, is what else can you mold along the way? Um, during your journey as an IFSA official. So yeah, those are the three things that I value the most as an IFSA official: the opportunities, the friends, and all the learning opportunities.
Thank you so much, Mel. Yes, I think the opportunities you have here in IFSA for your professional career are really great, even when you're like in your first years of the career. So yeah, thank you for your answer.
I'll be popping bottles. Sparkles
So
and
now
champagne.
we are moving to the next person.
Royalty looking sexy, you know that be my.
You can answer this question. Matthias, are you there?
I'm here, sorry.
Mhm.
For me, the first thing is I have to check my emails once a week minimum. If I'm struggling, but I have to do it because I can miss a lot of information.
And you need to kill yourself now. I am Goku. So
Sorry for
Can
that.
I
You can,
continue?
yes, you can continue now.
Okay. So during this term, I was able to see a completely new perspective on the field I deal with. So I can see forestry from a different side. So in that international level, how an international organization is working, and I can see tons of new opportunities. So maybe one thing that in the future I can compare anything uh, to the IFSA structure, and yeah, to the IFSA working structure, because I have never seen this good before. For me, this is hilarious. So my university's communication system is so much worse. So IFSA structure is the best what I can see in my life. So I can compare to that. The second things are the new possibilities. So we have a lot of them, the conferences, the delegations, the regional and sub-regional meetings. So we can take all of them. And maybe for the third things are my connections. What I made during this term and what I will do in the future. One of my best friends is from Sardinia, and we are discussing several times his research topic and anything, sending a lot of memes on Instagram, and we made a great friendship. So yeah, that's from me.
Thank you so much, Matthias. And yes, I think we all have that friend in the other part of the world that we can share memes and also for street topics. It's really good to have those. Thank you. So now we're moving to Isha.
Yeah, I think I agree to both of them. Like I personally is very grateful to whatever experience I have acquired from IFSA. And I have to say that one of the main reason the job I'm doing right now, that is the reason what I have done for IFSA, because I'm totally working on the aspect of environment education and capacity building thing. So that is what I learned from IFSA itself. My academic knowledge matters to certain extent, but for last 4 years, whatever I have learned with different aspects with IFSA or for IFSA, I went for the UN bodies and different youth constituencies. All this experience kind of gathered up together, and that actually helped me to get the job. So obviously, I am super grateful for that. But so one valuable thing when I got the job, I understood that sometimes we don't understand what capabilities we have. I always used to think that I am more of a research oriented person. But when I took a gap from my everything studies and jobs and everything, that 4 to 3 months, I understood that what I have done with IFSA so far, that is something I was doing very very comfortably. That was something I was doing naturally, and maybe that capability is more accessible for me and enhanceable for me. So that understanding that because IFSA gives you a learning opportunity. So learning about yourself and your capability is something you can experience over the period of time. So IFSA gives that scope. And another important thing I understood that uh, being in a very motivated team can gives you a sense of achievement so much, because when I went for the election process of the global focal point, I think Augustine, Aditi, everyone, and whole the IPC team, everyone is pushing me so much that I can do it, whether I didn't believe that I have the ability or I have even a 1% chance to go through it. So having a very good cheerleaders for yourself and helping you at every step, so one teamwork or a motivation can uh, a backbone support with your peers can help you achieve a lots of things. So I believe not only it is important to be in that team, but also it is important to be that team member, that you support everyone at certain extent, because we all are students, we are here for certain reason. Obviously, we are all looking for networking, communication opportunities. So it's not that it will be only confined to only to you, but also like sharing is caring. So more you share, the knowledge is never constricted. It always gets better when you share with other people. That's something I learned. And the third or most important thing that it doesn't matter how much you are working or what exactly you are working, the goodwill somehow reflects to everyone. Maybe you are like trying to do something and you are not getting that achievable point or not reaching the goal. But when you put a lots of effort and you are communicating with your team that I want to do that, there is always a way that everyone works together and look at your goodwill and help you to achieve that goal. So it's not always your one man army or one person army. It's always important to work together, have a goodwill, because we all are working for a better future. So it doesn't matter how it is being done, it matters what you want to do. So it's not just for 1 year, it's the whole lesson I have learned for last 4 to 5 years while working with IFSA. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much, Isha. And what you say, like having other people to supporting you, it's really important. Like when times you don't think you're capable of doing something, they are there behind telling you that you can do it. So it's really nice to have those kind of people in your life. Thank you for your answer. Now we are moving to Emmanuel. Same question.
Okay, let me first start with saying IFSA is a learning place. I've learned a lot. Yeah, I initially, when I first started as an official, just as if I was a ranger, a lone ranger, don't know what I would do. But I initially said it in the first questions that what I actually saw was team spirit. It's just amongst us, and you see people will tell you, okay, okay, you can do this, you can do this, even um if you are not really getting the job, if you're not really getting the task that you're supposed to do, you'll see people who can just guide you. And it's not as if they will just come straight at you, like they will come and guide you, that it won't be as if they're even scolding you at all, like friendly. And before you know it, you are able to achieve the tasks that you really want to achieve. So I would say IFSA is a learning place for me. The most valuable, let me say the three most valuable things that I would take from IFSA. Number one would be networking. Like the members, different people from on different parts of the world, with different ethnic community, ethnic understand everything. It's being an official gave me an opportunity to just connect with all the forestry students with different background, with different everything, and I would understand how they take things, how they understand things, and it has helped me also to improve my own communications, talking with people from different background, different culture. So another thing is I have my communication skills scaled up. Being able to use soft tools like the Google, all the whole Google charts, what we're using that, and be able to use them efficiently. I think it's here in IFSA that I was able to use all these social media tools very well. And I would say time management as well. Initially, initially, when I want to do something, I'll just have it in mind that, okay, I will do it. You understand? Not racing against any time at all, because I was just living, can I say, carefree life, but when I was with my work at IFSA, you just have to manage your time. You understand? You just have to manage your time. You just have to manage it. And that is one thing. In fact, I know that I'm still going to develop or continue to develop in this proper management skills, time management skills, because I know it's a skill that will help me in my nearest future, being able to manage your time and to be able to work proficiently and efficiently. Not only in food, not only in IFSA now. When we get to the outside the labor market outside there and we want to work, we need to work in time and to be very efficient. So I'll say these are the three things that I'll be taking from IFSA: the networking, meeting with a lot of people with different backgrounds, understanding how to rapport with them, and improve communication skills, and also time management skills. Those are the three things I will be able to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. And yes, like the things we learn here in IFSA are going to be really helpful for us when we start like the working life. And as you mentioned it, the IFSA spirit, I think that's what keeps us here being officials every year. So it's really good. Thank you so much. And now to close this question, we have Marcia.
Thank you again. So I think one cannot stress enough the opportunities that can get through IFSA. After COVID, it's great that we actually have a lot of opportunities also online and in a hybrid form. So given the fact that we're an international community from literally all corners of the world, this is an even more massive achievement. I think is actually one of the greatest things IFSA has achieved and has managed to provide back to the community. So opportunities again and again. For me, especially this year, I felt finally back to normality by being able to actually delegate on behalf of IFSA to an event, and oh my God, it was one of the greatest feelings I've experienced so far in 2023. So yeah, the people that you meet, the networking, the share of academic research, like there is just so much in this networking and this word that of opportunity that can be shared through IFSA that is literally infinite. And of course, internal initiatives of IFSA like tree learning, and the list just goes on. And for me, it's especially important, not because only I'm able to see the impact in whole IFSA family, but because I still don't have the luck to work in the forestry sector. It's my only remaining link to the forestry world the forestry science, and it keeps my motivation up to keep looking through the people that I meet, through the people that I work with, and through the knowledge that is spread around. So that's one very big thing for me. The second thing is the experience I started getting about high-level processes, especially through this year. And the more you get involved, and you don't have to be ahead of some type of commission or subcommission, even as a commissioner, I believe, and I've been there in that position too. There is just so much that is happening, so many people that you have to bring together, and especially when you're involved into events or side events that IFSA creates together with the partners, there is just so much work that is entailed, and you have to be so punctual and so involved not to miss a thing so things can go smooth. So high level processes is a totally different level and a chapter for me, at least. So I really appreciated that insight, and I think it really took me one step further. And the last thing I could pinpoint that kind of stems from what I said now is the responsibility that is teaching you, and mostly towards the people that you're working with. Doesn't matter if they're students or your partners or like IFSA volunteers or some organization, because everybody has their schedule, everybody has their own challenges in personal life and work life within IFSA spectrum, and at the end of the day we're all sailing on the same boat. So it's creating a great empathy and great sense of responsibility, and teaches you how to navigate through that, whether that means you're taking a step back or you finding another solution. So that those are the main three things that I could take from it, and the rest you all did the courtesy to share, and I think that we can talk for days of what one can gain through IFSA.
Thank you so much, Marcia. I think you summarized everything really good. And we all agree that we have a lot of things valuable in IFSA as an IFSA official. It's really difficult to summarize everything in 3 points only. But thank you so much for sharing all your inputs. I think this is really going to be helpful for the people interested to be an official. So once again, thank you so much for answering these 2 questions. Now we're moving to the Q&A from the audience. If you have one specific question that you have for our dear officials today, and I would like to start with one for whoever wants to answer it. What advice you have for the first-time officials that want to be here? So who would like to answer this one? Yes, Marcia?
My personal advice is acknowledge both the success and the failure. Is part they're both part of the game, and especially when you're new to something, you have to make peace in advance that not everything will go all right, but there are always people backing you up.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think that's the best answer for this, for this question. So now we have one here in this Slido for Isha. Aside from what you mentioned before, what is your advice for IFSA officials that have full-time jobs at the same time?
Okay, so yeah, I learned it from a hard way, but yeah, let's finalize it. So first thing is for me specifically the job I am doing, it both desk job and field job. So that's why most of the weekdays are really hard for me to do something. But if there is very mandatory, so you have to understand what you have to do by your own. And another thing is with the team, so you can do your work at your own pace. Personally for me, I can't take my personal laptop to my office, so that's why even if I have a off time, I can't do anything apart from texting. So that's one drawback for me. So I will not suggest anyone that you are going to your workplace and you are doing anything else, because that is not ethical as well. But if you have something to do on your own space, that you can make time and divide that time, whenever you are feeling free, if that can be done over a text or a call, that you can manage on your own space. Then comes to the teamwork. So if you are leading a team, it's always important that you understand what other team members' availability is. So I always give kind of a broad time zone. For example, I say that in my place after 7:30 to 9:30, I'm open on weekdays, and on weekends I am free for the whole day. So that gives the team members to understand that when you are actually available, so that whenever they are trying to have a setup with call, maybe with the partners, or for me it was partners or the different youth constituency. So I used to keep those meetings or calls on the weekends, because I will be full on focused, I have total energy to give. Whereas for the weekdays, I may be on a lower energy, maybe I am just doing what I have to finish on the deadline. So it's important to balance it out, that what you have to do, keep that work on your weekdays. That's my suggestion. Because but if you are feeling like, okay, I can't do any work on the weekdays, it's absolutely fine that you engage your whole weekends over the time. For me, per week, maybe I used to give around 5 to 8 hours on an average. Sometimes it used to go to 10 to 12 hours, depending on the pressure. So you have to just make a small time schedule that, okay, I have to give 5 to 8 hours on an average, how I will be dividing that work for the whole week. So that would be my advice for, balancing it out. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Aisha. I think, yeah, here the key is time management and communication with your team. Yes, Marcia?
I just wanted to pitch in because I suffer from the same full-time job schedule. And we had actually extensive understanding with Ash on the topic. What I could suggest, and actually really worked for me, maybe you have noticed, most of you for yourselves, that there are some certain peaks of energy that make you feel invincible. And this is the perfect, absolutely perfect time to take out a calendar and try to pitch in your teammates and your partners, and try to plan ahead as much as possible. Check all the things that Esha said, check about meetings, availability, whatever, in order to be prepared and be much more mentally free when this peak of energy will diminish and you will find yourself again in a stressful everyday situation. So that helps immensely to make the most out of the peaks of energy that you're getting. And no, I'm not talking about coffee and energy drinks energy.
Thank you so much for your answer. I think, yeah, it is important to use those times when you have energy to do something. So thank you for compliment the answer. We have in the chat some questions. So I have one for Matias. We know that Brasilva is a new subcommission. So the question is directed to how you were able to accomplish the task for your subcommission when you didn't have a previous head of subcommission helping you or giving you guidance for this.
For me, the problem is not on that wasn't only the procedure is new, also the problem that I'm also new. So maybe if my schedule will be stricter, or Vova hit me every week when I'm late with my tasks or something like that, that could help. Uh, mm, I get a lot of help from Vova and Freddy also. Maybe it was not so easy for them because I was a newbie and they have to explain everything to me. But that was new also for the partner, and for a long time we cannot communicate so well. We can't reach them. So at that time, building our partnership are just staying at the previous in the early states. Now we can communicate, but in their situation, it's we have to understand that they are professors and workers, and they didn't have so much time for Pro Silva. They are kind of volunteering there, so they have to do their work, and they have only a few hours per week to work with the Pro Silva and check the emails and do the organization stuff. And mm, they have one more focal point, that they are planning for a long time relationship, and they are asked for mm, they have several partners in the past who are making a partnership agreement there. They are disappeared and asked IFSA that please don't do that, and I can guarantee we didn't. So sorry, concentrating on the question again. Yeah, Voa and Freddy helps me a lot, and also we have a lot of guiding documents which I didn't read, so it was also hard, but later I figured out, and we can do it together. Yes, so that's how I can do the tests.
Thank you so much.
I'm not only working with Pro Silva. We have like the working. What was the name of the event when for the World of Forests webinar series, where we have to hosting sessions. I get a lot of help from everyone, so that's how I can manage my tasks. Sorry for the
No worries.
thinking.
Thank you so much, Matthias. And yes, definitely having the help from the external counselor and the head of partners in your case, it was important. And learning from patients to for waiting for your partners to reply to you, it's also important. Thank you so much. Now we have another question for Bill. We know as internal counselor, you not only have responsibilities in the department, within the department, but you also have for the board and the council. So how were you able to accomplish this task?
Yes. Similar to Matthias, I also get a lot of help from the other board members, the other council members, or the other counselors, and the head of commissions within my department. Because of course, all the tasks that are assigned to me or assigned to our department is not only mine to accomplish. So um, throughout my years as an IFSA official, I've learned how to efficiently delegate the tasks so that I won't get burnt out, and also at the same time not let my colleagues or the other officials be burned out as well. So as long as I can help them, I will. And yeah, it's all about helping each other out so that we can finish all the tasks that we have for a project on time and efficiently. So yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you, Mel. We all are mentioning the team and the team, but yeah, it's really the team. Thank you. Now we have question for Emmanuel. How did your experience as an IFSA official help you in your academic journey?
Yes, you know, it's our is it our ethics in HIPSA that when a tax is being given, there's what we call the progress reports, something to like bring an indicator to check how far we've gone with our work so far. And in a way, I've been able to just incorporate that into my own academic life, and it's been helpful because, like I said, initially, I'm this kind of person that it's not as if I don't take this with levity, but most of the times I'm just so carefree. Even sometimes it's my academic works, I will just, okay, I'll do it. And later go back to it. But having to, that's a track your progress and to indicate that, okay, have you been going so far has really helped me. And I can probably say that I graduated just recently and I came out with a 2-1. It's really helped my academic. It really helped my academics. It really helped my academics. So that's what I would say. The being an IFSA official has really helped me. Also, yes, also being able to understand juggle 2 or 3 or more tasks together. I've been able to during my writing of thesis. There are some people that I would just have to help, assist them in writing their thesis. It's just something that I've been doing, almost every time, writing the concept notes, doing things. So it's so easy for me to like assist people. And the more I'm doing it, the more I'm getting better. So yes, IFSA has really helped me in my academic journey.
Thank you so much, Manuel. And you just give an example how the team supports the team. So thank you for that. And now we have also a question for Marcia. We know how is this thing to be an IFSA official, but also how people who's interested can develop their personal selves inside this community.
Oh, so many different ways. First of all, through the work that we have to do during the term to meet the different goals, you're putting yourself into a specific route, if I may say, that helps you understand what it takes to fulfill the different tasks, and that itself helps you pinpoint your strong points and the points that you might need more work in comparison to somebody else. It helps you build up tolerance in many cases. Also throughout the different cultures and the approaches that this entails, that it helps you understand the world a little bit better and have a broader view of it, and consecutively towards your colleagues. And it helps you also pinpoint, well, because it's a lot of teamwork there, you are able to see, oh, this guy does that better. Maybe I could use this thing for me, and the other person does this. Also looks good. So if you're, chill in a way that nobody's here to point fingers at you, everybody's trying to do their best for each other and for the vision and the goal that we have, it can help you so much uh, take things, and there are people around you that can help you work on trade. There are every year we have absolute MVPs. Like this year we have Vova, Bell, Simon. Like there are people that, especially Volva, if you allow me to say, my guys in second year of masters, I can only imagine how the schedule is, not to mention the situation in his home country, and yet he's ever present in all meetings, in different commissions, in his own department. What he does is absolutely crazy, and he always finds time for everyone. So there is no reason for somebody trying to copy that, and because everybody's struggling with different competencies and capacities. But at the same time, it's also very good to recognize, okay, I'm struggling with that, so I know which door to knock. And that immediately helps you build up on your communication skills, which are useful in every aspect of life, from your family interactions to your workplace. So that's definitely one way. The fact that we build up to friendships, and I don't know, we have the Discord community, and we have movie nights and games, and all these things. Also, that thing can take out a lot of stress, can alleviate a lot of difficult situation each and every of us experiences. And I think that's a great step to better yourself with a healthy and fun community, and people that you actually calling somebody a friend is a very big deal. And friends are the family that we're choosing, basically. So I think this kind of sums it up. Like every process has its own gain, as long as you have your eyes focused on that, and not to focus on the bad things, the failures, or even sometimes things can get heated up because we're not everyone our best selves every day. So if we build up this acceptance and tolerance, I think this is the one great step to become a better version of yourself and to show it towards a community like IFSA.
Thank you so much, Marcia. And yes, IFSA is full of valuable people with a lot of great skills that you can learn a lot. And it might be cheesy, but it's the family. And as you say, the family we choose. Well, thank you so much for your answer. Now we
I
have,
hope I did answer, actually. I hope Belle is satisfied with my answer.
yes, yes. Can I schedule a therapy session with you, please?
Oh, I would be honored.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. We have this question here in the Slido for whoever who wants to answer this one. How to deal with teammates' demotivation? Do leisure meeting or bonding activities help when the agenda is tight? Who wants to reply to this one? Belle, please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so that's one thing that I think we've all experienced at one point in our journey as IFSA officials. As a counselor, of course, it's it won't be avoided that some officials will be demotivated at one point during the term. So what I do is, of course, I send them a message like, "How are you? Is there anything that I can help you with?" Even sometimes um, in their personal tasks, I sometimes offer help just to see if I can help them bring back their motivation. And of course, help when it comes to their IFSA tasks. And during meetings, we try our best to do an icebreaker at the beginning of the meeting just to level off with the other officials, how they've been doing this past month or this past week. And at the end of the meeting, we also have checkup or a checkup part of the meeting. That's the best that I can call it right now. So we ask them like, how are you feeling now that the meeting is over? What are you looking forward to in the next weeks? So that it's not all about work, because sometimes even myself, I find it very demotivating whenever I remember that I have tasks to do. But whenever I remember that I have other people who are willing to help me with my tasks, and people that I can talk to outside of IFSA work, within the IFSA community, that um, really helps me build my motivation back. And we also have the Discord server, which admittedly, I still need to learn more about, but I think it's a great platform that we can all use to, like what Marcia said, have movie nights with our IFSA friends, or even give suggestions on what books to read. Yeah, IFSA is not all about work, so it's also our job as IFSA officials to remind other officials that you have a community to bond with, and it's not all about work that you have to do in IFSA.
Thank you so much, Belle, for your answer. And yeah, definitely having other people to motivating you, it's super important to continue with your work. Thank you. So now, Marcia.
Yeah, just complimentary again, because I do believe Belle said it all. Um, Something that I actually failed to mention earlier, and I think you'll understand also the correlation with whatever I've said so far, is how sincere you are to yourself, to and the team actually to one another. And there's not another way to do that aside from actually checking in with each other. Like, okay, you see things going down, they're going south. Okay, guys, what's wrong? Each and every of you, let's discuss. And I'm pretty sure that if you're discussing with a person like Belle, for example, you're not gonna feel like you're interrogated. You're gonna feel like a friend is asking, okay, dude, is everything all right? Is there anything I can do? Is there anything that you would actually like to share, what that brings you in a more difficult position? Because there can be a lot of reasons. For example, people that are commissioners or officials, and they come from LCs that are quite inactive, can be a problem, because you want to do something and you want to connect the links, and one side is working good and the other side is not, and this demotivation can be intertwined with other situations. So the most sincere thing to do is that check in, maybe bring people from other parts of IFSA officials that have have tackled this thing before, have more experience, and be like, okay, I brought this person with me today because I think they can help us do better, and just keep it positive. It's a very big thing, together with the sincerity.
Yes. Thank you so much, Marcia. And yeah, definitely you can see how people approach you from the best place. And that's what also motivates you to do it, because you want to help. So thank you so much, Marcia, and thank you so much, everyone else, from your answers. I think this has been really amazing, really insightful, and it's going to help a lot for people who want to apply for a position. So we're almost at the end of the session. Before we go, we have some closing remarks. So first of all, the recording of this session is going to be available on our IFSA YouTube channel. We're going to be posting about this when it's ready, so be aware of this. And also, if you missed the past episode, the first episode from the experience, the recording is already available as well in the IFSA YouTube channel. Here is the link. And as mentioned it before, last year we had the IFSA Officials Roundtable Series. So if you want to know more a little bit about the tasks, the time needed, like more specific things, you can watch these recordings from last year. We are featuring all the officials, so it's divided from commissions and board. So you have to choose the one you want, no more, and yeah, pretty much that. And just as a reminder, we have current open calls. We have the board ahead of commissions open call. This deadline is for the August 18th. And we have two rolling open calls. One is for the head of IUFRO subcommission, and the other one as well for IUFRO, but for the joint task force, IFSA IUFRO deputy coordinators. So please be aware of this. And if you are interested and you want to know more, you can watch the recordings and you can get in touch with any of us if you need any advice. So that's pretty much all. So thank you so much, everyone, for your assistance today, for your answers, for your questions. And yeah, it has been a really amazing session. So thank you so much. And before you go, let's take a screenshot. Okay. Belle, could you take it, please?
Okay, sure. Wait, let me just.
Mhm.
Okay, so smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, done.
Great. Thank you, Belle, and thank you, everyone. It has been amazing. Thank you. And I'm going to be asking Marcia for a therapy session after this.